Hello everybody, my name is Chris and this will be my review for Indiana Jones The Dial of Destiny. Now, a question ourselves the film first. Indiana Jones race against time to retrieve a legendary artifact that can change the course of history. That's pretty much what I can say without giving any spoilers away. Now, I can honestly say this is better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but I don't know if that is giving this movie too much credit by saying that, because the bar wasn't that high, because Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was such a bad movie. Now this one is not bad by any means, but it's not great. There was some definitely moments of some wonky CGI. There are moments where the CGI look great and those are fantastic. When you see the film, if you see the film, you know what I'm talking about. Other moments where the characters are moving and the CGI doesn't look as good as I want it to be, and I felt like it was pulling me out of the movie. Now it's really nice to see Harrison Ford do his thing again, obviously at his age, where I was watching the film and it's got all the things that you need for an Indiana Jones movie. Obviously there's Indiana Jones, there's some fun characters, there's an adventure, John Williams music, the score was amazing, but then it was like missing something, some sort of the charm and heart of this. Now in terms of the pacing, it was a little bit long, a bit slow, because there were times that it dragged for me. There's a section of the film that has a flashback of Indiana Jones as a young guy, and they did some de-aging, and I was kind of disappointed in that the CGI was not better on his face, especially considering how much money was spent on this movie. I was expecting it to be stellar, because in the trailer it looked good, but in the movie was distracting. It was like a 20-minute sequence where we first see him as young Indy, and it was nice, but then he started looking around as Indiana Jones and something felt a little bit obvious. Initially looking at his face, I was just as young Indy, but then he started talking and he sound old and weird. And I heard there was a number of reshots involved in this production, because the initial intention of the film was one direction, then because of some backlash they informed and went a new direction, and they had to go and do some research. So you kind of feel when you're watching the film that it wasn't quite assembled necessarily on the script, on the page, when they decided to start production on this. It didn't feel like a cohesive film. It felt like a lot of ideas that made its way into the final production, and I just kind of wish they did a different story. The rumor I heard is they wanted to kind of handling the torch from Indiana Jones to the female lead in this film, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She's a great actress. I just don't know I would necessarily would have wanted her in the role, and I think she did a pretty good job here, but it's just, she handles the material here wonderfully. I really enjoy her performance. It's just her character. There were times I really enjoyed her character, and there were other times there was like, this is really generic, and where the arc went with her character. I understand the sort of mishmash of things, kind of give you a familiar adventure of the older Indiana Jones films, especially Raiders of the Lost Ark. She does kind of resemble me of Marion, that's her name, where they're trying to go for, and that kind of a vibe. I see what they did there. Now I just have done a different movie at the end. I was scratching my head doing why this story was told, because it would have been cool to have like an adventure with Kiwai Kwan, like somehow they got linked to all this time and bring back the old cast members. Somehow Mary's rope in all this and they need to save her, and it's just that wasn't the story, and I just don't know if I'm willing to put this in the same league as the first three films. Based on what kind of edition, they nailed the aesthetic pretty, and like the first half half, I feel like the second half sort of visually drop off and things become less interesting visually. It's just another adventure in that tracks Indiana Jones, and you get a pure nostalgia moments in this film. And so I was really grateful and appreciative that you get those moments of from the series as well without going into spoilers, which is always appreciated. I don't mind the fan service as long as it's not deteriorating from the plot. If you want to see Indiana Jones in one more adventure, then yeah, go watch this. They definitely acknowledge his age and this the part, and they make it that part of the story. I think that's actually kind of cool, and Indiana and Harrison Ford gave a stellar performance, and as Indy as always, considering the age limitations of what he's capable of doing. Now it did the best job illustrating the audience why this journey was important. I know the biggest stake, but the personal stake are wholly clear. Like, why, when this film was over, what was the point of all that, and what do we go to off that? But it's fine. There are moments that were fun. I had last while watching the film. There was some thrilling moments, cool chase sequence, and I thought there was a lot of use of the CGIs, and I understand why, because Harrison Ford is older now. Now I will say this about the villains in the story: they definitely felt like Indiana villains. By that I mean they felt classic. Mikkelsen did a pretty good job here. He's always interesting to watch, especially whenever he's portraying a villain. He always brings some interesting layers to his character. It always has like this captivating presence to him. So I think he was really great here as the villain, and they did a pretty good job with that. Now the last thing I would say about this film: if you're going to watch this, or you're considering watching it, go watch it on the theater on the big screen. Now if you have seen the previous Indiana Jones films, and if you just like indie, I think you're going to have a fun time watching this film. But if you're not really into Indiana Jones, I think you're going to have a harder time getting to this film, because there definitely some cool moments and some nostalgia moments in here. But I think the people who are not really into Indiana Jones, I don't really think this is the movie that are going to make them instantly fans of Indiana Jones. So that's my review for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and thank you for watching. See you guys later. Bye bye.